Hey Fish fam, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and we are going to play one of probably the single most asked for version of Merfolk in the last few weeks, Lurrus Merfolk, Blue-White Lurrus Merfolk with Unsettled Mariner. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as my knowledge is, this was a deck that was created and piloted by the Dogfish. He got a very good result in the Modern Showcase, actually beating me in the last round. My list could have been published that day. It wasn't. It was his list. On top of that, he's got a lot of 5-0s attached to it. Then was followed up with a win in the Modern Challenge by Miss Trigger, and then also other 5-0s. I believe that Merfolk Joe also got a 5-0 with this list. And I can definitely see why, if you looked at my latest Decks to Beat video, top 10, a lot of Burn, Prowess, and Red-Green Ponza is super at the top of the leaderboard. So we want to be playing with Unsettled Mariner. That is going to be very good. And actually, the reason I never liked Unsettled Mariner before was because I didn't think it was good against the attrition-based decks, but those decks are going down. I don't even have Jund as my top 10 decks to beat. But Unsettled Mariner are going to be great against Burn, Prowess, also I think also against the Red-Green Ponza deck, without being too vulnerable to Blood Moon. So if you love Merfolk and you want a Merfolk channel, this is it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And oh yeah, we're streamers here, and if you want to watch the thing live, don't forget to go check out my stream schedule in the description below. Come over on Twitch, watch it. Watch it. Stay Slapped is going to say hi to himself on YouTube. So before we get into our deck tech, we're going to start thanking our sponsors, starting with the manabase.com and with podcasts on Commander and MTG Arena, Standard Content, Modern, and more. The Manabase is your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And Mana Traders. Mana Traders is the premier place to rent Magic cards online. You can support the channel by renting from them using my link in the description below, or you could sign up to them with the coupon code Nikachu to get 20% off your first 3 months subscribing to them. We're going to thank Mana Traders for being our sponsor. Alright, so let's get into this. So it's basically a mono blue deck, for the most part, that is splashing Unsettled Mariner to help beat the Prowess decks, to help beat, what's it called, it does help against Burn. Like, I definitely have crushed Burn with a few, like, 2 Unsettled Mariners, that's it. It's like a combo, and they might as well scoop at that point. But it's going to tax Prowess significantly. I really like how it's positioned against Prowess. I never liked it, though, against the attrition-based decks like Jund or Death Shadow. But Jund has been just falling off the map. It's like a deck, but it's not the most prominent deck out there. I have to concede that we need to be playing with some heavy-hitting cards against Prowess, because Prowess is super dangerous, and is definitely a deck that we have to beat in the metagame right now, so Unsettled Mariner is here. We also, because we're playing with all 2-drops, you know, this is like a 1-drop, 2-drop, 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 2-drop. We get to play with Lurrus for free, so I don't know how well this card is going to do. It's a free roll. It's a total free roll. And so we're going to see how it does. I don't expect good things out of this, but it's a free roll. So at any moment where we have nothing in hand, nothing to do with our mana, and we're not playing with Horizon Land, so we might as well have something free to do with our mana in the late game. Let's put Lurrus into our hand, and we can either cast Lurrus with Seachrome Coast and Wanderwine Hub if we just randomly have 2 of them. If not, we could also tick file up to 3 and put Lurrus in play that way. Dismember, I do like Dismember. Some people are going to ask, why not Path to Exile? Because we don't have the white mana sources for this. We don't have, like, we only have 7 white mana sources between Wanderwine Hub and Seachrome Coast, so we do not have enough white mana sources for Path to Exile. Besides, I think Dismember is more reliable. I do not want to ramp my opponent with Path to Exile. I understand there's some disadvantages to Dismember, namely, you're going to lose 4 life. Not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. We've been playing Dismember for forever, and the great thing about this list, what I really like, is it is a 2-color deck that is not taking damage from the lands. So this is a painless mana base, and what I really want to see is how good this mana base is going to be against Ponza, because, you know, make no mistake, you got to be prepared for Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon. So is 8 islands enough? It's a little low, but probably it's better than nothing. It's probably worth the splash of Unsettled Mariner. Okay, what are other things we could talk about? Missing 1 Benthic Biomancer, but it's probably not too bad. 3 Dismember, For Harbinger, I would say Harbinger is definitely well positioned right now. Very good combo with Trickster as well, so you can force the issue of tapping the creature, bouncing it, and is very good against Prowess. It's one of my favorite cards against Prowess, so it's a good card there. What else we have? 3 Spreading Seas in the main deck, 3 Force Negation. Pretty standard stuff. So we have Echoing Truth in the sideboard. I was wondering, why isn't it Brazen Borrower? But if it's Brazen Borrower, then we can't use Lurrus. When we bring in Brazen Borrower, we can't use Lurrus as a companion. 3 Tidebinder Mage, definitely for the burn. Red-Green Ponza, Prowess matchup. Maybe we could go to 4, but, you know, I don't know how the sideboarding works, but maybe 3 is enough. This one I find weird. 2 Mana Leak? Really? We can't play Deprive in this list? I'm not a fan of Mana Leak. I've played a lot with Mana Leak, and especially with Tron on the rise, this card will be dead in a lot of situations. Tron and Eldrazi. Well, we don't really bring in too many counterspells against Eldrazi Tron, but against regular Tron, there's a lot of situations. They just go land, Tron mana, play Oblivion Stone. All right, your Mana Leak sucks. So I'm not so sure about this. In the late game against Control, it becomes dead. So you have to use this really quickly, very early on in the game, because later in the game it'll be useless. Especially when we're in like Cryptic Command loop mode, and they have a lot of mana. Mana Leak isn't going to do it. So I'm very curious to know if this is going to do anything. It's a okay card, but it's not a great card. I would prefer to play. I'm playing the Dogfish's exact 75. I would prefer Deprive, but we'll see what Mana Leak does. We have the 4th Spreading Seas in the sideboard, 2 Relics, and 3 Chalice of the Void. 3 Chalice. Hopefully, like, I don't think we can lean on Chalice by itself against Prowess, but it's definitely a good card, a tool that will win games on the spot occasionally, and I just hope that backed up with Tidebinder Mage and all our other tools, it will be enough to beat Prowess. What else would I do with this deck? Oh yeah, and just some people will say, why not Rest in Peace? Again, same thing with no Path to Exile. Like, I don't even like Path to Exile, but I do like Rest in Peace. But still, we don't have enough white mana sources for it. M515, is there any theoretical advantage to Mana Leak versus Deprive? Yeah, if you have very few blue mana sources. So if you're like all in on Mutavaults and Cavernous Souls and you don't have many blue mana sources, Mana Leak would be better. So in some world where we had 4 Mutavault, 4 Cavernous Souls, and we only have 12 blue sources, Deprive would start to get really sketchy. It would be very difficult to get the double blue mana on curve. And maybe I think 15 blue sources is enough for Deprive, in my opinion, because most of the time you're depriving on turn 4, not on turn 2 or 3. So by turn 4 you'll have the mana, and that's the only time that it matters. Whereas with Mana Leak, I mean, we'll have it immediately, but I don't know how important it's going to be on turn 2 or 3. And then on turns 5, 6, 7, or 8, or 9, it becomes dead. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Very excited to see how Unsettled Mariner is going to work. Let's just hope that we get red matchups. Let's hope we get red matchups. One more thing. Still has a 1-drop in it, so we can have some turn 4 kills between Benthic Biomancer and our Lords. So hopefully that'll work out. All right. That's the list. Let's get into our Modern League. We won the die roll. Hand is fine. 1 drops, 2 drops, disruption. Well, I don't know if I want to see burn here. We're up against BMJ. I guess we play Wanderwine first. Or I guess technically Seachrome is better. Because if I peel Seachromes from here on out, it will not be good. But it probably is very improbable that we'll peel a million Seachromes from here. Oh yeah, it's Ben Jones. That's correct. He's probably on Shadow. I interviewed him once. That doesn't look like a Shadow card. Or maybe it can be. You are late. So it looks like the correct move here is to play a Mutavault, because there's no guarantee that we'll have a Silvergill Adept next turn to draw, so we actually want to play the Mutavault. I'm not going to play Ether Vial this turn because it's just not good on the curve. I mean, in theory, I could actually loot this thing away, loot the Ether Vial away. Okay, so now let's bring a Silvergill Adept into this world, as if I gave birth to a Silvergill Adept. Cavern of Souls is fine. Just tuning in. Dogfish. Glad the master is running it out. Mana Leak was a nod to not getting the counterspells locked by Moon versus Gruul. Okay. Okay, question, Dogfish. How do you sideboard against Prowess? That would be my only bizarre question. Could easily be Deprive. Manamorphose. We're up against Prowess. So even... That's sad when the master... Whoa, what's going on here? Like Chad is showing. Ew. Stormwing Entity. Our hand is very good against this. I'm just curious to know how you would sideboard against Prowess. Because there's so many different ways of doing it. Okay, so let's first... I guess I'm going to play the Ether Vial. Okay, we'll attack for 3. I'll play Seachrome Coast, Ether Vial, and then next turn attack with potentially play with Spreading Seas, and then potentially play Spreading Seas and attack with the Mutavault at the same time. There's almost too many cards to bring in versus Prowess. I know. I knew there was a gut shot. I knew it. You scum. It's free spells. You know, something else. Do you know what? I take it back. I should have looted this Ether Vial away. Make this bigger, less vulnerable to Lava Dart. And then I likely, in the next few turns, drew a Merfolk to, play... Ether Vial is just not very valuable right now. 2 Swift Spears. And getting Benthic Biomancer to 2 actually is more valuable. Especially in a Lava Dart Gut Shot deck. I'm guessing this is going to be a light up the stage. Take out everything toughness 1, including Silvergill Adept? I could buy that, but opt in Lightning Bolt, gotcha. Okay, we're actually gonna loot here. That is nice. That's not too bad. We'll discard Cavern of Souls. We don't need to... I don't think we need to make anything uncounterable in this matchup. Oh no! What happened? Oh no! I meant to attack with the Mutavault this turn. Oh, that's terrible. Well, maybe we have a Mutavault on defense now. So I will definitely use the Spreading Seas to pitch the Force of Negation. Maybe it's good that I have this Mutavault untapped. I don't know. We got the matchup we wanted. Don't let us down, deck. Exactly. They put a card on bottom with Opt. Okay, I'm going to block some damage. I don't know if it's worth it. You want to Lightning Bolt my other threat. Okay, this is where I will take a stand. Everything I'm doing is like a bit ludicrous, but like I would prefer to actually just attack with this Mutavault. Actually, I would have preferred to counter that thing as well. Ideally, I would like to force a negate. And, oh, God. So what does this cost? Well, it's definitely going to come out next turn. Alright, let's go. We need gas. Let's draw a bunch of gas. This match is still difficult, even tacked up. That is a great draw. Well, that's not bad. Alright, let's attack. Well, as far as I know, they don't have removal, so... they might get it next turn, though. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's going to cost them 3. They'll have 2 mana untapped. Yeah. Okay, let's deal as much damage as possible. But in another world, we took 3 more damage from a Swift Spear. And our opponent is at like 3 life. If the Mutavault was still around. So at least with Master of the Pearl Trident on the board, if they have Lava Dart, they have to get rid of Master of the Pearl Trident first before they start sniping off our other creatures. And also, with them at 6 life, it's very difficult for them to crack the Wooded Foothills. And they're also going to take, if they want to... They actually have a painful mana base here. So, I mean, even if you place, what is it, Spell comes to play tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. So this thing comes into play tapped. Well, that sucks. Also, it's going to make Bedlam Reveler cheaper. Okay, here's the Bedlam Reveler. Please do not draw Lava Darts. If you have Bolt... Okay, hold on. I can't play around Lava Dart. What if you have Bolt? You bolt this? Still no island on the battlefield. Well, anyway, I'm not going to block, because if I block, I don't have any way of winning the game. There's Lava Dart. Is that game? That's going to be 4-8. I'll go to 1. Oh, mutagenic growth will be enough. Okay. Concede. Good Bedlam Reveler. Okay, things might have been differently if I did not have the Ether Vial. Or I chose to throw it away earlier. Brings in Mana Leak. Okay, so... Well, I can sort of get behind taking out... Like, I don't know if he suggested taking out Silvergill Adept. He said taking out all the 1 toughness creatures. This is a 1 toughness creature. I don't really like Spreading Seas in the matchup, though. Is E-Truth good? Oh, I get... maybe. Bounce Bedlam Reveler. Okay, I can get behind the rest of this. Oh, no. Okay, I want to add some of my own theory here. What else? I actually want to go down on some mana sources, because this feels so attrition-based now. I wouldn't mind going down another land. Actually, this deck plays Bedlam Reveler. I mean, Relic is not the worst. Maybe Trim Seas? I'm taking out all the Seas. Remember, this is a blue-red deck. They can use the Seas, so its Seas is not doing anything. There's not mono-red prowess. Okay, I will leave the Relic. We have some other ways of dealing with Bedlam Reveler. I better not forget that I have Lurrus as a companion. Alright, we'll keep this. And hope that Chalice on 1 is enough. So the thing with Force Negation, and I wish I played it better in that game, is I should use it on their, anything that has, like, anything with good card advantage. Sometimes Lava Dart, but also light up the stage. So Harbinger plus this Chalice on 1 is going to be great. Maybe I'll start getting out some of these non-basics. I just hope they don't have a Braid. You know what? I think Force and Negation is good. I used to take it out, but now with a lot of theory crafting, I think it is good when used properly, which I didn't do in game 1. I think my sideboarding could be a lot better. Here it is. Boing! Boing! Boing, 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 boing. That feels good. That feels like a good play. Chalice on 1 into, like, bouncing your 1-drop. Can't ask for more. I don't get it. They, like, always have a Braid, like 100% of the time. It's like Force Negation doesn't even matter. I'm sorry, that's like Chalice of the Void doesn't even matter. I don't get that. It's like 100% of the time. They have like 2 Abrades in their deck. I have 4 Chalices. Not fair. In my opinion. Okay, so... The mana sucks here. This Seachrome Coast is a beating, because I really want to play... No, actually, I can play 2 creatures at once, untap, and have Force Negation up. That's not too bad. But the problem is if I play Tidebinder Mage here, I mean... Tidebinder Mage might die. Maybe it won't. Okay, I'm gonna go a little YOLO here. Play tapped land, put Lurrus in hand. Next turn you got Chalice. Oh, that's a nice trick. Well, then I could still do that next turn. No, I can't do that next turn. Okay, what? I get it. It's a neat idea, though. Very good idea. So chat just reminds me that I have a Lurrus in my graveyard, and Chalice cannot scale beyond 2. Beyond 1, like X being 1. But that's all we need it to be in this matchup. But given how I played it, this is just how it is. Okay, I'm just gonna play out my hand. Well, I'm gonna need 6. Yeah, I'm gonna need 6 mana to. Well, the idea was play tap land, get Lurrus. Next turn, play my other land, play Lurrus, and play Chalice on 1. I think their line was good. Yeah, so Tide Binder Mage is going to die. Then probably everything else of mine is going to die next turn. And then I have nothing to... Like, what I like about that line is I'm going to get Lurrus in play, then Chalice, before I lose anything else on the battlefield. Because now I have nothing to protect with a Chalice of the Void for the most part. Wow, nothing to play this turn. I guess there's going to be a light up the stage. Yeah, so this is what I think is worth countering with Force and Negation for the most part. Another Soulscar Mage. That's a terrible draw. What are the odds you have Lightning Bolt or Lava Dart? Probably high, so I'm not going to attack. I'll just pass. This might be stupid. Oh, JLT, join the wave. Again, woo, 3 months, many more to come. Thank you very much, JLT. Oh, maybe I missed an attack. What do you have in your hand? Well, actually, if they have Bolt, they might be saving it for the moment that they just shoot my face. Obviously, I can't defend against any of this stuff. There's Lava Dart. This is also worth Force negating. See, this last turn, we could have had a Chalice on 1 on the battlefield with all their stuff in hand. See, I'm learning. I'm learning how this deck works. I actually really like that Lurrus plan from the from chat. Look, I'm just dead because of all this crap. What is this? 10 damage? No lightning bolts? No. Oh, how many lava darts are in the graveyard? Is this just lethal? Maybe I know. Well, I don't want to block 1. So this is 14. Alright, we're just dead. Alright. This is the deck I wanted to play against. And it would be very interesting to see what the line would have been like if we went, yeah, well, this is why I call it a creature combo deck. You see, I tapped out, and the game... They still had 3 cards in their hand. They still had 3 cards in their hand. Yeah, I only have 5 mana, but you need... That's all I need, Lord Magicus. Because, well, no, I would have plenty of hope, because all these things would get countered. This would get countered. The lava darts and the counters to the lava darts would have... The lava dart and the flashback to the lava dart would have been countered. It would be a completely different game. These creatures didn't matter. Did not matter at all. I didn't want to... Well, I didn't want to block with 1. I'm already down quite a... Well, okay, you're right about one thing. I could block with 1. If I block Soulscar Mage, it dies. I play Lurrus. I play Chalice of the Void. My fear is that they kill Lurrus in response, which they could do, and then I have less creatures on the battlefield. Yeah, they would still get the Prowess triggers, but I don't die this turn. I die because they hit me for 4 damage with lava darts, and then after that, if they throw everything at me, then progressively every turn we bring out Tidebinder Mage with Lurrus, we bring out Harbinger of the Tides, you know. So anyway, that was round 1. Let's get on to round 2. We won the die roll. We're up against a fellow Lurrus deck. This hand's not good though. We don't have a white. We don't even have a. We don't have a blue source or a white source for Unsettled Mariner, so we're gonna mulligan. We don't have anything here. Mulligan again. These hands. Now I wish I kept the first one, because at least it had a Benthic Biomancer to loot into a land. We'll keep... Sure. I'm scared of being up against Jund or something. So less if I have less cards. Oops, cancel. I don't want this. If I have less cards in hand, I want to have a hand that has the fastest clock. These eyes cry every night for you. Firewalker is like a straight counter to Prowess and an excellent roadblock they basically can't remove. I honestly don't like Force Negation in that matchup. You can just treat it as attrition-based deck, and once you deal with their creatures, their non-creature spells don't matter. We don't have enough answers for their creatures, though. Hopefully Lurrus does something in this matchup. Oh my god, it's Prowess again. Alright, it's a Prowess world. Or it's Burn. It could be Burn, actually. Might be Burn. Might be on the Burn side. Vapor Snag is super anti-attrition. Like, it's not good. You'll lose more than you win with Vapor Snag for sure. If you're saying it's an attrition-based matchup, you don't. It's not a good place to be with what's it called, with it. I hope they don't have mutagenic growth. I'm going to attempt to kill you. Maybe in response to Mishra's Bauble, the correct thing was to eat this just in case they have mutagenic growth, right? Mutagenic growth turns 4, Prowess 5. Yeah, so I could kill it. But it feels like Burn. Burn doesn't use mutagenic growth. Hallelujah, we have an Ether Vial. Grim Ducky, like, they spend all those 1-drops and then you bounce in response. You gotta be careful with that line of thought. Okay, so first off, Vapor Snag gets countered by Chalice of the Void on 1. Second off, every Prowess player will be very hesitant. What the hell is this? So every Prowess player will be very hesitant when you have mana up. The problem with M. Hayashi full Chalice in the main deck thing is that it sucks against every other deck. Like, you play against Uro Control and they're like, oh yeah, sure, okay, I don't care. This sucks. I mean, this just sucks. Alright, let's go! Let's go, Soul Scar Mage. Let's do this. You think it's Rakdos Lurrus Prowess? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay, so it's Rakdos Prowess. With the Kiln Fiend. At least we can block Kiln Fiend and kill it. That's the good news. If we get to block it. Hooray, we have a Wanderwine Hub. We could, in theory... Oh man, this is just ugly. Okay, I'll play Wanderwine Hub. Show the Lord. We're gonna grab Lurrus. So I could die this next turn, but there's nothing I can do. If I play too defensively, I'm not putting myself in a position to win, and I need to put myself in a position to win. Yeah, at least they don't have as many Abrades. They have Kolaghan's Command instead. I will attempt to block the Kiln Fiend. Can't promise it's gonna work, but I will try. It's better than doing nothing. Unless we threatened, like, Harbinger of the Tides. Oh, Manamorphose again. Of course. Of course. Hopefully our opponent is digging for a removal spell, and that they don't already have it, because they have basically lethal on the board right now. Okay, they have Lava Dart, so I think this is it, it's over. Well, we had a really bad hand anyway. Crash Through, is Crash Through an instant? I think it's a sorcery. Yeah. Anyway, we got super crushed. Okay, same plan. Or how can I improve it? Okay, definitely Chalice. Now, Spreading Seas might be worth more in this matchup. Honestly, I'm not in love with Spreading Seas in the Prowess matchup, period, just because of Manamorphose. And they hit a steady amount of lands anyway with Light Up the Stage. Like, I don't mind Spreading Seas if I'm playing with Master of Waves, but aside from that, like, I'm taking it. I might be completely taking a turn off, and it doesn't even matter for them. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Force. I'll bring in the Mana Leaks. Maybe Echoing Truth is good. Mana Leak, I haven't seen that one in a long time. Actually, there's a little bit more reason to bring in something like Relic, because exiling the graveyard makes sure that their Lurrus doesn't work. Time to run Demir Folk with all the removal. Okay, let's see the power of Unsettled Mariner. This hand doesn't look that impressive, but it's got Unsettled Mariner in it. Opponent mulligans to 6. Overall, I don't mind playing against Kiln Fiend because it's more blockable when you block, and they are scared of us blocking because it can trade with the creature no matter how big it gets. So I'm totally fine with that. Just great. Just great. Well, this hand's fine. You know, it's not that bad. I don't even know if I honestly don't know how much Vile matters. I guess I'm gonna lead off with Master of the Pearl Trident, and then we can Trickster the one creature that they have and bounce it the following turn. Our old foe with Thoughtseize. Yeah, I know. So many good cards in this deck, and we had one of them in our hand, and then it's gone. Can I afford to attack? So the only thing that punishes me is Mutagenic Growth. But then we could bounce this thing with Echoing Truth. So that's still a win. The only thing that I guess, like even if it was Gut Shot, it wouldn't matter. It's a 2-for-1. Sure. Manamorphose away. If we draw a land, we'll be in pretty good shape, because then I can attack for 5 with Master of the Pearl Trident, and we'll have a pretty decent board. Sure. Not thrilled. but sure. Is this another Manamorphose? Yes. And people say it shouldn't be banned. I think, because as you see, I don't think it's so easy to just kill off the creatures and, you know, call it a day. Especially when they're playing with things like Lurrus, or they just have a lot of creatures in their deck, and they're sifting through them, like with cards like Manamorphose and their Horizon lands. People are going to be looking at banning something from... Well, I don't know if they're going to actually ban something from this deck. We'll see, but I don't think this deck is safe. I think our opponent is also just playing right into an Echoing Truth. I think that's a bit silly by them. Our opponent is definitely not playing as patiently as as Ben Jones was in the last game, where they held on to their interaction for as long as they could. Yeah, our opponent should know about our tempo spells, so our opponent is just walking straight into like what we're doing here. They're not even playing around anything. Yeah, I would think that the card that would get targeted more than anything is Manamorphose. It's definitely been in the banning discussion before. Alright, we got our land. That makes me happy, so we can consistently attack. Basically, attack and tempo out every turn. So they can't have a really, really big turn next turn. But we'll see. Let's see how well the metagame adjusts to Prowess. We'll see what happens. Target player sacrifices a creature. No problem. Very odd choice. Over, like, just playing your Kiln Fiend. Oh, you got something else to play? Sure. That's not too bad, but I think I'll attack with two creatures, and we'll bounce the thing. If they want to make a double block, we'll bounce something. It could backfire badly if they have Lava Dart or, not Lava Dart, sorry, Gut Shot. But they didn't seem to have a Gut Shot or anything last time. Which one do I want to kill? I guess the Swift Spear? Because it has haste? Actually, I could do nothing. No, hold on, no, I save a creature if I bounce something. Alright, pass. If they tap out next turn, I can just play Master of the Pearl Trident. Oh no, I can play Master of the Pearl Trident and pass. Because I still can't do much with the, what I have on the board. Oh, that is convenient. But is it good? Well, it's enough to block... Sorry. Oh no, there's two Soulscar Mages out. Okay, so they have a Kiln Fiend. This is not mana efficient at all. Good old Mutavault mana, I know. So if they want to play Kiln Fiend next turn, then they cannot play any free spells at our face or creatures. So I guess we'll start off with Unsettled Mariner, and then... I really want to attack here, but if they have a Lightning Bolt, then they just eat our creatures for free, so I'll just pass. Well, if I play a Lord and they... I know they only have one card left, but there you go. If I play a Lord and they play Lightning Bolt on the Lord, then I'm just stone dead. Because I would lose both creatures in this case. Okay, so they have a Kiln Fiend and a random card now. I mean, maybe we're not stone dead, actually. Well, but it would not be convenient. Okay, there's Kiln Fiend. That is swell. Okay, so... the control elements are coming through. And I guess I'm just going to Trickster the Kiln Fiend. But I mean, I don't think we're like it's hard to tell how well this deck is working right now because our opponent our opponent saw our hand with Thoughtseize and did not play around it at all. They just went all in on their creatures. We tapped out, like we saved so much damage only because our opponent did not even try to play around everything in our hand. And they definitely could have. Oh, whoops. Well, that was, well, it was sort of a mistake, but that's okay. So we can play Trickster, tap down Soulscar Mage, block Kiln Fiend, then just not have to deal with it for the rest of our life. This really actually isn't that bad. Sure, whatever you want to do, it's all going to get countered. Oh, I have triggers to put on the stack. Oh, you mean not block, attack. Oh yeah, that's probably a line as well. Chad is smart. That is a better line. I think. Actually, okay, well, they could Lava Dart, sack Lava Dart, and Mutagenic Growth twice. So that was worth 12. Yeah, I guess it's still not enough. They played Dart to make sure that Trickster would die. I guess the same sideboard plan for game 2. Maybe on the draw I want my Ether Vial more. And on the draw I'll take out a Mana Leak because it's going to be worth less. It's got Chalice. I'll keep it. And hopefully we can protect it a little bit. And I also like the fact that we have Harbinger, so if they play any 1-drops very early, you know, we're going to have some interaction against it. We'll see what happens. They better not have Thoughtseize. You better not Thoughtseize me, you scum. Alright. Now don't play Kiln Fiend or Abbot of the Carol Keep, because those are also very difficult to beat. Yeah, they definitely needed to play Lava Dart just so that we don't have lethal on the crackback. Yeah, no, see, well, I think if they Thoughtseize us, I would just force negation it. It'd be worth it. Kiln Fiend. Damn it. Okay, so Hopefully we do not die. Hopefully we do not die. Because we're going to take a huge chunk of damage this turn. So next turn, we're going to get in for a whopping ton of damage. If they play Manamorphose, I'm going to force a negate it. Okay, so that is Flame Slash. Interesting. Well, if they had K Command, I would definitely Lightning Bolt me. That's fine. Here comes 10. So the plan is we can play Harbinger, bounce Soulscar Mage, and block the Kiln Fiend, and then we stabilize. Alright, we don't die. Excellent. We don't die. We have 2 Force Negations now. Are they going to get Lurrus? They got Lurrus. Alright, we can't really do much about that, but that's okay. Lurrus is not particularly useful right now. I mean, it's just a 2/2 creature. Do I want to go lower my life total? Not really, but okay, we'll wait for our opponent to make a move and see what they do. I could kill the Lurrus, or I could kill... I think the Kiln Fiend is more dangerous than the Lurrus. Oh no, I guess Lurrus, because Lurrus just brings Kiln Fiend back. It's like right now they could attack with Kiln Fiend, I'll block with Harbinger, then they just bring it back, because it's free. Actually, they won't. They need to cast a spell at the same time. That will tie up their mana, so they actually can't bring Kiln Fiend back this turn. So this will work out. Yeah, we can kill the Lurrus. So you have to spend mana in order to make sure this thing dies. Oh, we got Fatal Push too? That's sweet. I have to stack these triggers. I wish they would stack the triggers automatically. Always yield this trigger. Alright, now we're seeing the power of Blue-White Lurrus Merfolk, people. This is the power of Blue-White Lurrus Merfolk. A lot of people ask, how do you race this deck? You don't! Another Kiln Fiend. Boo. You have a Lurrus in hand? I guess I have to keep waiting. I guess I'll play another Unsettled Mariner just to throw away the other Unsettled Mariner. Well, I guess I can attack here, right? Oh no, do you know what? This attack is bad, because if they block and play a spell, then if they draw a land, they can play Lurrus Kiln Fiend, and that's not good. So maybe wait. Well, whatever. Let's start putting pressure on our opponent. Okay, so now we can see Lurrus into Kiln Fiend. Well, maybe it's not too bad, because I can Echoing Truth them both back to hand. You want to attack for 1? You have no Lava Dart or anything. My kingdom for a mana. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna E-Truth, attack for 4. Might as well. Just it gives us a turn, we attack, whatever. Then we can, if we draw a land, I can play Master of the Pearl Trident and try to attempt to block the Kiln Fiends with Master of the Pearl Trident and a Mutavault. Kiln Fiend aggro. Well, I did draw land. It will do. Actually, they're in a position they have to block my stuff, right? They actually... No, they're not. I looked at my own life total. No. uh... I'm going to attack with... I'm just going to attack with both these things. If they want to double block, sure. They don't win. No, we need to put ourselves in a position to win the game, Monster CC. I think we're okay. But the Carol Keep is okay. That's fine, because we're now, like, swinging for lethal soon. We found a mountain. Sure, whatever. We have our bases covered against, like, a Kolaghan's Command. Or a Braid. Or anything, really. They can't target anything. Another Kiln Fiend. Kiln Fiend aggro. We had lethal with the Mutavaults? Well, no. Well, not if they have blockers. And then it becomes even more difficult to attack. Well, we're in a good spot. We can't complain, really. Nothing can defend itself very well. But I need to keep 4 things behind. Okay, so you're at 4. Now maybe I pass. Swing in with the team. They have to block. Okay, they just resigned. All right. Oh, the correct line was to just think for long enough until the opponent realized that they're basically dead. That was the correct line, chat. That was the correct line. We are obviously winning, but now just take a theoretical discussion. If we attack with everything, they don't need to block. They can block 3 things. Okay, I don't like the line. I don't know if I like the line. Or maybe it's enough because we have these 2 Unsettled Mariners on the battlefield. Okay, I'll tell you my problem here. Let's say we attack with... You wanted me to attack with everything? Not everything is 4 power. Only... Like, they can chump block everything if they need to. Like, Abbott blocks Mutavault, 2 Kiln Fiends block 2 Unsettled Mariners, and then they play Lightning Bolt. Kiln Fiend will then kill the Kiln Fiends will kill the Mariners. And then Mariners die. What do I have? I just have 2 blockers on defense in front of a Kiln Fiend. And after that, in theory, our opponent can go like a Braid into Kolaghan's Command. Oh no, it can't be a Braid into Kolaghan's Command because we still have Force Negation. Well, they can still attack a Braid in Kolaghan's Command, and even if we can counter it, we lose our board. We'd be left with 2 Mutavaults. It's tough. It's not clear because they can if we attack with the Unsettled Mariners, they can trade their Kiln Fiends for them. Whereas if I just pass, I think there's like no way that they can make a good attack. Because I can activate Mutavault and block like Abbot of the Carol Keep with a Mariner. Oh, I'm not too sure. Maybe attack is good. Maybe the attack is good. Let me know what you think at home. It's sort of a complicated board state, but I do have a lot of protection, including the Force and Negation for any shenanigans they want to do on their turn. So anyway, that was round 2, and did great. We make no mistake, Unsettled Mariner. We didn't even use our Lurrus. We had the Lurrus out there. We could have used a Lurrus with our Harbinger of the Tides. We did great here. We had Unsettled Mariner, and finally Chalice of the Void resolved and worked. All right, that was round 2. Let's move on to round 3. Okay, well, won the die roll in round 3. This hand is useless to us. We don't. We have 3 Ether Vials, but barely any creatures to put them in play, and we have a Force Negation, no mana, and no blue cards in order to pitch to. This hand's great. This hand's good. I'll keep and I'll pitch a Wanderwine Hub because if we are up against Ponza, at least we have something, some insurance against it. Mariner to protect. Well, Mariner to protect Chalice is good too, but it works best if our opponent is choked on mana. Also, I'm leading off with another Prowess deck. Look at that. I made my top 10 decks to beat, and now everyone is just playing Chalice. The word is out, people. The word is out. We have a decent hand, though. Ugh, that's ugly. So we can go. We can Trickster the Swiftspear on. Well, we'll see what they do. If they play a sorcery speed creature, I'll Trickster. Okay, given that it would look really weird if I play. Do you know what? Okay, now I regret it. Given our hand. Well, no, I'm in blind, so. I was saying, like, you know, Wanderwine Hub would not, like, give away what we're doing, but I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm going to show them the Trickster because it just looks weird to play Wanderwine Hub, pass. Sorry, Wanderwine Hub, show Master of the Pearl Trident, and pass. Like, oh, what could that mean, you know? Hey, Manamorphose. I sort of like this because they're playing right into the Trickster. Actually, that works out for us as well. So we'll probably tap the Stormwing Entity and bounce it back to hand. We might as well play Soul Sisters and Splash Lords, if that's possible. I don't even know if Soul Sisters would be that good of a matchup. They don't have many creatures, and they've got Lava Dart does a really good number against Soul Sisters. They put 2 cards on top with their Stormwing Entity, so just giving the heads up. You can hear the dishes in the background? That's not good. So I'm going to keep the Ether Vial in hand to just pitch to Benthic Biomancer one day. I think with my hand about to become empty, it's not going to be as valuable. RTX, what are you doing? Hold on. Where's my RTX? Noise suppression should be high. Oh, maybe it's not on. Okay, now is it working? Can you, like, still hear the fans and the dishes and all this other crap? Mathematic, yes, I do. You can still hear the dishes, or it worked? See, look, that Stormwing Entity is so clunky now. What? What happened? The spell costs 3 less to cast if you cast an instant or sorcerer. Oh, so I didn't actually really do anything. So bouncing this didn't mean shit. That's annoying. Yeah, but it matters to me. Okay, let's crank up RTX voice. I might start sounding like I'm underwater, but I don't care. Okay, let's race. Can we win next turn? We can. Benthic Biomonster won't be large enough. Alright, let's hope our opponent does not combo kill us this turn. Great. Always Manamorphose. Yeah, just kill the sound and dub over later. I love dubbing over like 3 hours worth of gameplay footage. Would it have been too risky to dig for a land with Biomancer? Yes. I think with the board as it was at the time, I think it's too risky. Opt is a good card. You know, this is the matchup I wanted with my mono blue deck last time. With the main deck Tidebinder Mage. You know, okay, I will say this much. If the environment continues to look like this, main deck Chalice of the Void is not going to be a bad idea. Just going to throw that out there. Main deck Chalice is not bad in a world of this bullshit. Okay, do we die? Hopefully not. Don't kill me. Lightning Bolt will kill me. Lava Dart also kills me. Does this kill me? That might kill me. 7... 14... Oh god, we're dead. Yeah, that's it. Alright, we concede. That's too bad. Yeah, we had this situation. So I guess they didn't want to put their life total too low. They fetch Shock. They were at 6. I guess I could have considered blocking. And then if they went all in... Well, I don't know. If they could have had a removal spell in hand for like a Lord or something to make sure that we couldn't win on our turn. What was the next card? Draw a card. It was an island, so we'd be able to activate Benthic Biomancer and play the Lord on the same turn. Okay. Display, card, view. Like, it's just near... Well, I wouldn't say it's impossible to win game 1, but it's very difficult. Okay, same plan. Ether Vial. Bring in all this stuff. Take out. Seize. Take out. 1-drops. Then we take out Silvery. Oh, Chalice of the Void. I'm just a poor boy, nobody love me. What is going on here? Bring back Chalice. Main board Chalice is bad in Legacy, good in Modern. Well, I think it's in general it's bad in Modern too. But, you know, hey, if the metagame shapes up like this, then that's what we gotta do. Do I want to play first? Yes. Just to make sure our opponent does not play first. This hand is only good if our opponent does not have a Braid. Or any other way to bounce the damn thing. People are singing Queen in chat. Our opponent mulliganed. First good news of the day. Everyone's sort of teaming up to sing the song. Enjoy, YouTube, enjoy. Now, YouTube will not demonetize me for this. Better in chat than my brother singing it. Oh, that would have been great. Turn 1. So... I'll show a Lord, because I most definitely don't want to show the Harbinger of the Tides. Guitar solo plus head banging. Our opponent's snap playing, so I'm assuming our Chalice is dying. Manamorphose into... Oh, maybe it's just Manamorphose into Stormwing Entity. Which could end up being really good. So if we draw a land, I mean, that would be beautiful. But here's the problem with the... Like, they've got so many ways of digging to the answer for Chalice. I mean, they've got the Stormwing Entity scrying too. Put one card on the bottom, one card on top. I mean, that feels dangerous to me. Come on, land. Land would help so much. No land. Well, I gotta deal with one of these damn things. I guess the correct play will be Harbinger, because if Because if I then draw a land on the following turn, I can play Dismember and something else. I could Dismember the Stormwing entity, but it won't be mana efficient at all. How much donation to get your bro to sing Queen? I have no idea. Gotta ask my brother. Yeah, it's 3 Prowess in a row. Okay, they're digging. They're digging for the answer. Finally, we got an opponent that is sweating bullets. Then when we get the Unsettled Mariner out, it'll be very hard for them to abrade this Chalice. That sucks. Did they show us mutagenic growth? Now I'm just thinking, should I just race? Racing might be stupid though. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to kill this, but it could backfire badly. I mean, if they're 1 mutagenic growth, then I'm toast. Oh no, mutagenic growth doesn't work, because I have Chalice. It's all part of the plan. Sprite Dragon? Well, that's not good. Okay, now we're racing. Again. Why am I choked on mana? Why? Okay, we have to race. It's a race now. It's a race I don't think we're winning, because I think we're going to get hit for almost lethal next turn, and I got to have like a really good answer next turn. But like I said, like these decks, they aren't nearly as vulnerable to Chalice on 1. They have diversified themselves enough that... they've diversified themselves enough... That's interesting that they didn't recast the Lava Dart. Oh, now I get the land! Oh, I get the land now! Is that how it is? I could use this land a long time ago. We're just dead. We are just stone dead. I'm a turn off. I have no answer to the Sprite Dragon. Oh, I get it. I guess they're saving the... It's a 2-turn clock anyway, so they might as well not burn anything on it, especially if we play, like, Merfolk Trickster on them. Alright, let's... I don't know what I'm going to be bluffing soon. We're going to be bluffing something. Okay, we're just dead. Yeah, we're just... Okay, let's move on. Let's move on, people. Let's move on. All right. We are 1-2 against Prowess decks with this thing. Not a good showing right now, in my opinion. Still very tough. I think we could... Like, if we curved out a little bit better... it was really backbreaking. We needed a turn... we really needed to be able to put a creature on the battlefield and Dismember on the same turn. We did not get that opportunity. We would have raced them for sure, but that just shows how clunky we are here. Yeah, womp womp. On the other hand, one thing that could have influenced this game is I took out the Aether Vial on the land, but that did not seem to matter in the other games. I don't know, I'll have to think about it, but still, it's very tough. Chalice of the Void is not an instant snap win against these Prowess decks, and they are hands down the most popular in the format right now. Well, anyway, that was round 3. Let's move on to round 4. We won the die roll again, which is sad. We've won a lot of our die rolls, and it is not helping us. Is it the Merfolk version meant to be tuned against Prowess? Yes. This is one that's made quite a few 5-0. It's like, I don't know, it's had the most success. It's not showing so much success for me, but I could have played the first round better. I don't know about the other rounds. Oh, Yippee-I-O Kaie, okay. This hand is great against Infect. So... Where it's like, it's okay. Okay, we'll attack with Benthic Biomancer and they'll play Unsettled Mariner and leave it on blocking duty. Unsettled Mariner is just literally a Grizzly Bear in this matchup. Dang, format is fast these days. Yes. So we will attempt to block this Glistener Elf. And then we'll Harbinger it back to hand next turn. Sure, this is fine. Actually, we can't die here, right? It would take like 3 mutagenic. It would take like 3 mutagenic growth. So I'm actually not going to block. I'm just going to Harbinger. They can't even protect. They played Inkmoth Nexus ahead of time. So here's a pony mistake they made. They played Inkmoth Nexus, thinking, you know, what's the harm? I'm going to play it anyway. But by doing this, I know that they cannot play a green source next turn to protect their Glistener Elf from, like, to give it hexproof. So that opens this gives me the opportunity to play Harbinger, bounce it, and save my creatures for a counterattack. And I think I gotta save a Dismember for this Inkmoth Nexus. Dead to double growth? No, we were dead to triple growth. No, I would not play around Veil in game 1. Okay, so here I'll just Dismember this stupid thing. And, like, this Inkmoth can get bounced by the Harbinger, no problem. Let's attack for 5. Easy win, more or less. So the thing with Inkmoth is, Inkmoth will either attack for 1, or if they try to pump it up, we bounce it. So activate, if they pump it up, we'll let it attack, and bounce, and then it's basically GG's. So, our opponent's not playing around anything. Maybe they feel like they need to. I mean, we could kill them next turn with 1 Lord, so they had to go for it. But the sequencing really mattered. Like, I would block that Glistener Elf if they didn't play the Inkmoth Nexus, and then I would have had a slower clock the entire game. Or would I? Maybe I wouldn't. I would still take the Infect, because then I could play Harbinger, and if they tried to protect against Harbinger, I would Dismember. So maybe it didn't matter, but still, you shouldn't give free information away. Alright, Infect, this is a bad time to be playing Infect, because Chalice of the Void is so good. Or I wouldn't say Chalice of the Void is so good, but it is impactful. Let's get some counter spells. Not a huge fan of Echoing Truth. Very weak, clunky card. I am a fan of Force Negation because they're always playing their pump spells on their turn anyway. Okay, so Unsettled Mariner is useless. Spreading Seas is not useless, but not that great either. I'll just cut them all. I have to take out 2 more cards. I'm not really a fan of Trickster. Okay, I'll take out 2 Silvergill Adept. I've never found that this is a matchup about card advantage. Playing Silvergill Adept on turn 2 is usually it's not about card advantage at all. It's about basically tempo. Oh, look at that. I got a Silvergill Adept anyway. Yeah, I mean, information in Magic matters so much, Tai Padme, and yeah, it was their only land in hand, but that's not an excuse to let me know that when it has no strategic significance. So if they go turn 2 Blighted Agent, I'll just dismember it. It sort of looks like that's what it is in this game. Some portion of the time, they'll just lose on the spot. Spellskite time again? No. I've never been a fan of Spellskite. I think Spellskite is useless. Well, this is going to be a bit tough. I mean, I'm still going to hit the Blighted Agent, but alright, we could die in the air to the Inkmoth Nexus. I need an answer. Alright, let's see if... Let's hope the Inkmoth doesn't race us. Alright, they're choked on mana. That actually helps us a lot. But their hand is gas. Uh-oh, that's not good. Shite. Alright, let's hope they're really choked on mana, because this is they very often have a win in 2 turns. I need to find an interactive spell next turn. Chalice, well, I don't know, Chalice off the top may not even work, because they can at least attack for 2 with the Infect creatures. Let's see if they're going to play patiently, because I do have an Ether Vial untapped. Alright, some patience from our opponent, that's nice. Let's empty the coffers. Okay, this is good. We have 2 lords. So if they don't draw a land, we probably win. If only our opponent could see our hand, they would have just went for it. Okay, hold on. Don't show anything. I'm gonna only put 1 lord in play because it's not necessary to, or should I put one? Maybe I should put none. Make our opponent feel like they have time. 5. Do I have lethal next turn? Oh yeah, I have super lethal. No, okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit of pressure on our opponents. I guess I put lethal on the battlefield. Oh, they're going to dismember. Okay, so this is sort of why I wanted to do this, because if they have dismember, I still want to put pressure on the battlefield. That's fine. Still 5 damage. This is still lethal. So I'm going to give myself the opportunity, just in case they go for a kill, to play Benthic Biomancer, loot away this island, and find Harbinger of the Tides or Trickster. Because that would still work. Why are they dismembering the one that isn't attacking? Because they're pony, that's all. They have Veil of Summer. Crap. People make mistakes. What can I say? Alright. Let's hope we don't die. Let's take some time. As if we have some interaction. Okay, we're not going to block. I'm waiting for you. Oh! They played smart enough, but yet not smart enough. Okay, they definitely had some way to protect this thing. We have 2 random cards in hand, but now they're just dead, no matter what we do. Well, they might have another dismember. Let's see what... but I think they're still dead. Or maybe not. They could dismember and block. They could dismember one thing and block and still be... Oh, no, they're still dead. Alright, we win. Yeah. If they dismember, they go to 6, and there's still 2 creatures that are 3 power off of 1 Island Walker. So our opponent played around stuff... Correct. Well, but hold on. Let's say they did make a mistake with the dismembering. If they dismember the attacker, they would have saved themselves, what, 2 life, and then that doesn't work? What's our next few cards? Oh, Trickster was really good, so... They were probably in trouble anyway. Or maybe not. They have 5 cards in hand and they'll have 3 mana. Oh no, but then I can tap this Noble Hierarch this turn and still win? I don't know. I don't know if the math checks out. Anyway, all our hate against Prowess just slammed on against the Infect player. Harbinger playing a huge deal, Dismember playing a huge deal in this match. So we just crushed Infect because it's basically like very similar to Prowess, except they have less creatures and nothing has haste. So anyway, that was round 4. Let's move on to round 5. And look at that, we've won like all our die rolls. We lost all the die rolls when we were playing with the treasure hunt deck. We've won all our die rolls when we're playing Lurrus Merfolk. Mulligan the one lander. This is a good hand. Keep. Shame, I don't really want to throw anything away. Boop! Gotta get rid of something. Trickster and Harbinger is like a dream. Okay, let's see. Are we up against another Prowess deck? Is it going to be Prowess number 4, people? Oh, Spell Pierce? Spell Pierce is also... like, the problem with Prowess is they put so much pressure on you that you're tapping out very often. Is this classic Affinity? What is going on here? Are we doing that bad? I mean, we're only 2-2. Oh man, this is a blast from the past. Yeah, I guess I'll show tricks. I'll play Silvergill Adept. Trickster is good. It's going to eat up the Signal Pest really easily. Well, Affinity is not so scary like it used to. Between Merfolk, Trickster, and Harbinger of the Tides, and the fact that they don't have Mox Opal anymore, the deck is, like, really fair. Yeah, where's your Hercules Recall now? Yeah. The fact that I know my opponent will never have Hercules Recall is going to make this a very fair matchup. And also, I don't even know if... well, I guess they can run one color or the other. Galvanic Blast or something else. So, like, look at this. They chip in for 1 damage. Big deal. Yeah, we gotta be fast. Steel Overseer is a pain in the ass, but whatever. I think we can race it. I sort of want to eat this thing up. So I will try. Hold on, what did I show them? Okay, I showed them the Master of the Pearl Trident. I think. Ornithopter in 2020, I know. I hear you loud and clear, everyone. Hear you loud and clear. Ooh, Vault Scourge. That used to be a baddie. That used to be a baddie. Still is a baddie, actually. So next turn, I could grab Lurrus. Let's see what happens. I'm going to eat up the Signal Pest. Mm-hmm. I think for the most part, our opponent is doing the best that they can do. So by eating up Signal Pest, that's going to save us a lot of life in the long run. By the way, if our opponent didn't tap out, I would have double blocked the Signal Pest. Just to make sure I play around Dismember, if that's something I have to play around. Lurrus seems real meh overall. Well, it's just a bonus. Like, we're free rolling on Lurrus. Look, I have 3 mana. If I draw a land, I have 3 mana. I have nothing to do with it. See? So, if I have nothing to do with my mana, might as well sink it into a Lurrus. So that aspect I don't mind. Let's deal as much damage as possible. And bring Lurrus to our hand. What 3-drops are we playing? Nothing. That's why we can play Lurrus. Yeah, I can tick one up to 3. So I have an option here to throw my Lord of Atlantis if somehow the Steel Overseer attacks. Aside from that, this Lurrus actually isn't doing anything. It's just a random 3-mana, 3/2 lifelink creature. Dismember, technically, yeah. Springleaf Drum. Well, that might be something to worry about, because then our opponent can play Galvanic Blast. I guess, like, but we aren't too afraid of Galvanic Blast, because we'll get the stuff back with Lurrus. Okay, okay, JLT, we do not have 3-mana permanents. Look at the difference in Affinity today versus, like, a version with Mox Opal. Like, without Mox Opal, this deck is fair. Although I have to admit, the fact that we have Force and Negation does sort of help against them, because we can also Force and Negate the Cranial Plating, which contributes to, like, most of their wins. Oh yeah, they're preparing. They're preparing for the... I think if I... What do I want? I guess I want Spreading Seas. I'll tick one up. I'm gonna tick up the Vial because I'm gonna prepare for one of these lords to die. That's not too bad. Oh, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh, you do have mana though. They can pay for it with the Inkmoth Nexus, but they'll have to tap it. That resolved. Do I just attack for 4? I sort of free roll. Okay, hold on. The problem is if they Galvanic Blast one and destroy the other, because they can block and then pump everything up. I don't have the greatest attack, so maybe I should just attack with the Silvergill Adept and Trickster. Math is for defenders. I mean, again, I can bring back a Lord after blocks. Okay, let's say attack with everything. You... block, block, block. Kill Lord. Pump everything up. Wipe the board. Well, that's not good. Okay, we're only attacking with these two. Because all the blocks are awkward here. Because even if they Galvanic Blast Lord of Atlantis and then block Silvergill Adapt with Ornithopter and then pump it up with Steel Overseer, it doesn't trade with Silvergill Adapt. And these are both lethal attackers, so they have to do something about it. Actually, it will trade. Yeah, it will trade. I thought it wouldn't. Well, it doesn't matter. If something goes to the graveyard, we'll bring one thing back with Lurrus. And I will definitely kill the Steel Overseer. Well, I guess I don't have to. I could kill the Vault Scourge. But it won't get bigger. Whatever, I have an overwhelming board. I'm just going to pass priority. I think I'd rather kill the Steel Overseer in the long run. You like killing Vault Scourge? I think I'm fine with this. The problem, if you leave Steel Overseer on the battlefield for forever, you'll pay for it. You will pay for it. Like, everything just gets progressively bigger, and then it's impossible to attack into them. At the very least, this is as big as the board gets. And now I can progressively make up my board better. Like, this is as big as the board gets, and they're still not in a situation to attack us. Okay, let's get Lurrus. If I understand correctly, I cannot play the Silver Gill Adept. I better get the, I have to show a Merfolk from my hand. Okay, let's get Lord. And the next turn we could get Trickster and tap something down. That'll be great. They should have animated Nexus. If they animate Nexus, they can't pay for the Unsettled Mariner when they play Galvanic Blast. What a time to be alive, where I feel pretty good about playing against the Affinity deck. Merfolk versus Affinity. I feel like I could play against this all day. I have access to Merfolk Trickster, Harbinger of the Tides, Force of Negation. Force of Negation by itself, like, basically made this matchup even. But in addition to that, they lost Mox Opal, so they're not fast anymore. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Oh, that is an interesting swing. Okay, so you attack. What are we attacking for back? Well, we are attacking for lethal, so if they attack, we Trickster the Ornithopter and then win. So we have more than 15. I did not see that coming, though. Not gonna lie. That was not on my radar. That's fine. They go to 16. I have 16 power in play. I have 17 power in play. So they're gonna play their deck. That's basically what's happening here. We'll play Trickster on the Ornithopter, attack for 17, and that's it. Okay, we'll just tick the vials up for style. It's basically, I guess it's cranial plating for 1 less mana. But it stresses their mana base. Like, they said that they're a red deck. And they don't have access to Mox Opal anymore. They lost Opal, but they gain all that glitter. Oh my god, they show us the double cranial plating, people. The double cranial plating. Too bad. Okay, Force Negation is good. I'm not a huge fan of Chalice in this matchup. Echoing Truth is sort of crappy, but... Okay, what do we got to take out? Okay, Spreading Seas is good. Or it's okay, I guess. I may not change much. Maybe take out 2 Unsettled Mariner. Like, that's about it. I'm not a huge fan of Echoing Truth. I think it'll, well, okay. Echoing Truth is actually okay if Affinity is clunky, and they don't have Mox Opal anymore, so maybe this statement is true. in 2020. That is a clunky deck. So if I take out 2 cards, what it's going to be? I guess it could be... I don't feel so confident that I need to go Benthic Biomancer turn 1. Or maybe a few of them is fine. We'll bring in Echoing Truth. How many creatures? 24? Why don't I take out too many creatures? Okay, I'm going to bring in the Echoing Truth. I do believe in the statement that Affinity is clunky today. Yeah, but even if they're on a tall flyer plan, you spend a turn. You basically spend as much mana as they're going to spend mana to put it back on. So it only works if you're ahead on the board. If you're not ahead on the board, you're just behind. You're if let's say you're behind and I soak up all my mana to play Echoing Truth, then they're just going to soak up just as much mana to replay it. So you don't actually get ahead. That's the problem with cards like this. Okay, maybe I can shave one of these. Do I shave a land? Well, I'll shave a Benthic Biomancer. Too many are stupid. Probably, you're not always racing them, though. It's more like stabilization than turn the corner. Oh, they mulliganed, we're gonna mulligan. Yeah, we can keep this. Hand's not beautiful, it's not terrible. I'll toss 1 Force Negation. Oh, it's like a disenchant and unsummon versus all that glitters. Yeah, but they still have cranial plating. They might only have like 2 all that glitters in their deck. It's like a fog that or combo trick, but I tend to agree with Nikachu. Well, here's the deal. Whenever someone says it's like a fog, is fog playable like at all? Like, is it playable? So every single time someone says it's fog, fog has almost never been constructed playable, with the exception of like darkness in Ad Nauseam. So I find it like a pretty poor argument to always tack on fog as like, oh yeah, it can fog. Fogging is good. No, fogging has never been good. It is a waste of it's a waste of a card, waste of mana. Fog might have. Well, would it have? Oh boy. Okay, so they play this. That is Force Negation food. That is why we got Force Negation in 2020. Very hard to beat that card. Like, sometimes a lot of Affinity matches just like fold to that 1 Force Negation. Now they do have all that glitters, so that's going to be a bit of a different story. So there's more of those things coming. I just have to pass. Fog is underrated. Fog versus Prowess is good? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they can wipe my board and then they won't care. Let's see if we see an all that glitters. Arcbound Ravager. Well... Okay. We do have 2 Dismember, but I'm going to take like 8 damage. I could do nothing. And just wait it out. Take a little bit of damage here, and then wait for the Arcbound Ravager to pop on something else. Interesting to see that they kept so many 0 drops in against us. On the play, we might bring in 2 Chalice of the Void just to throw on 0, and then basically ruin like probably 10 or 12 cards in their deck. It's not terrible, but I don't really want to see that. Benthic Biomancer, you are weak. You are a weak card. You are a very weak card. Dark Steel Citadel. Actually, maybe I should have played Cavern so I can snipe the Arcbound Ravager if they decide to go all in on it. Oh, they might put everything on the Inkmoth Nexus. That'll be interesting. Let's see what happens. They left this up. Well, I guess it could pump up the Inkmoth Nexus. Oh, no attacks. So they might be just going all in on Inkmoth Nexus. Maybe this is the dream where maybe this is the wet dream where I'm always waiting for my opponent to like go all in on an Inkmoth Nexus with an Arcbound Ravager. No, it's not the dream. Damn. Yes, Dismember gets around regeneration, because you can't regenerate a creature with no power. Ooh, Spreading Seas. This is not terrible. Do I have any one-drop blue cards? No, I do not. So if I draw Mutavault, it'll be a good land drop to make. I don't draw Mutavault. Draw Silver Gill Adept, though. Guess I'll just pass again. Flippy Flappy. Nika, you call yourself a Merfolk Master. When can you claim the Master title of a specific deck type? I think if you've been playing... Okay, I think if you can win in open events on a regular basis, you can say that. Like, if you can win in very large open events on some regular basis, like I could say Jonathan Patton is a Merfolk Master. He was in the top 50 for a very long... Top 50 in the world for a very long time because he was going deep and made one top 8. It helps a lot if you perform well in open events. I would also, I mean, I could say M. Hayashi is also a Merfolk Master, just given how well he performed when the competitive leagues were competitive. But it's so hard to judge with leagues because just jamming them will give you like a lot of 5-0s, so it's very difficult to determine your actual win rate. That is a nice card. So actually I can like tap down Ravager, force them to make a move, and then dismember it, and then in the future... Well, this cranial plating is still going to be a problem. Or maybe not. Okay, the Mem Knight is not a big deal. Okay, I'm going to try to get rid of this Ravager. I can dismember and Spreading Seas on the same turn. You seize the Spire? No, this you can put up cranial plating on this. This is a flyer too. I can't even block this. Okay, what I want to do this turn is seize Blinkmoth Nexus, but I can't do that. I can't do that this turn because they could activate Blinkmoth Nexus and then sacrifice it to the Arcbound Ravager, and I would rather draw the card. So this is why I'm doing the order as I'm doing. And I can block this Mem Knight all day because of this cranial plating, though they'll have nothing on the battlefield. I mean, they can sacrifice a welding jar once, but I have more things to throw away than they do. Another Silver Gill Adept. Alright, I will attack for 4, just in case they kill off one of these creatures next turn. I'll be in okay shape. I was thinking to hold Trickster on Vial for when they went in with Blinkmoth. I don't want to... Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but you're sort of hoping that they, like, walk into a blowout. And I just want to make, like, a really good play right now. Okay, Signal Pest, not too bad. I can dismember that. Still under control. Yeah, this is game 2. We're up a game. So I don't want to block with Benthic Biomancer. I would actually like to loot away a bad card, but that's a strange play to make. I guess they're not going to attack with Mem Knight. They're just going to pass the turn. Oh, you want to avoid Whip Flare? I can't play around Whip Flare at all. Or I don't want to play. I don't want to play around too many things. This is not really a good hand to play around Whip Flare. I gotta I'm gonna put stuff on the battlefield one way or another. Now I'm wondering if I just go all out with everything. Okay, hold on. Let's get some information. I want to draw something. See if we can draw something nice. We draw Echoing Truth. That's not bad. It's a card. Well, I have to get rid of the Signal Pest, so I'm going to dismember it. Sort of hoping our opponent doesn't have Spell Pierce here. Because I should dismember first to see if they have Spell Pierce, because they have some card in hand that they're not playing before I make my attack. Alright, pass priority. And again, I'm keeping a creature back just in case, because this still is going to do a lot of damage, right? Or maybe not. Maybe they don't actually have that many artifacts on the battlefield right now. When in doubt, go all out. Offbeat Hero says, in my opinion, you should always assume that the opponent will play perfectly. Hoping they will mess up is a bad habit and will cause you to lose more than you win. So there is an exception to this rule. Like, I don't disagree with you, but there is an exception with the rule, and that is when you are so far behind, the only way that you can win, or if you're behind enough that the only way you can win is when your opponent screws up. So there is a bit of an exception to that rule. I'm just going to attack with everything next... Well, yeah, I can attack with everything next turn. Pretty comfortably. Another Dismember. Sure, why not? 3 Dismembers. Dismember is good in 2020. Actually, I can probably just bounce this Memnite, right? That can't go wrong. Nothing has haste. Attack for 10. Now that's playing around Whip Flare. Playing around Whip Flare there now. Because I'm not going to give my opponent another turn to draw it. Most tempo decks rely on capitalizing on opponents' mistakes in sequencing, for example. Yeah, that definitely can happen, but yeah, they can't Whip Flare if they're dead. Oh, they did have the Galvanic Blast the entire time. Interesting. All right, they have one more turn. What can you do? I think they're drawing dead. Like, I have no idea what they can draw. I guess they have to draw Whip Flare and play their Memnite. And then even then, I have this Mutavault. Would it be worth Talisman of Dominance if you're going to rely heavily on Dismembers, especially with Prowess so prevalent? Yeah, well, they could Whip Flare, wipe the board, play Memnite as a blocker, and then, oh, it still costs them red? They don't have the red? Oh, I can't get back to the game. I can't get back to the game! Oh, no! I can't get back to the game. That's okay. We went 3-2. Let's get back to the deck. I was not thrilled with... Okay, we got Raffle Stomped by Prowess. We beat, like, a pretty inexperienced Prowess player because they thought seized us. They knew exactly what we had, and they played right into our hand. That wasn't we beat that opponent, so that was not... We're going to scrap that one. We cannot assume all our opponents are going to play like that. So, I would say... It's hard to tell, but it seems like this isn't beating Prowess. Because the other 2 matches, we got completely crushed. I could play a little bit better in maybe one of those games, but we got smashed pretty badly. Maybe my sideboarding could definitely be better because I was setting out an Ether Vial and a land, but we're playing with a Lurrus in our deck, so we might as well not set out any mana sources. So lesson learned there. But still, it did not feel like it was enough. And even when we had Chalice on 1, we died. They just abraded it. Then we had Chalice on 1, it resolved, and they found a 2-drop creature. Like I said, in my top 10 list, Prowess has adapted to Chalice of the Void. They have enough 2-drops. Anyway, I don't know about this list, because it was built to be... I wanted to play it to beat Prowess, and I lost to Prowess anyway, so more playtesting needs to be done. For anyone who does play this, you got to let me know how well you're beating Prowess. And also be objective, like, are you beating the ponies, or are you beating some serious players who, like, played patiently? Are you beating their patience? I can see it. I can still see it. I can still see it being possible, but I didn't experience it this league. So that's going to be it. So we're going to thank all my patrons and subscribers on Twitch for supporting the channel. We're also going to thank our sponsors, themanabase.com and Mana Traders. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, playing Azorius Lurrus Merfolk in Modern.